All right, let's talk about a huge problem at the very heart of our digital world. It's one of those things that's so fundamental, so baked in, that we almost never stop to question it. It's all about how we store information. And it turns out, the way we've been doing it for decades, it might be completely broken. But the good news is, there's a revolutionary new way of thinking that could change, well, everything. So let's get into it.
You see, our entire digital life runs on one simple but really flawed idea: duplication. Just think about it. From a company's internal policies to the shape of a single letter on your screen, we are constantly making endless redundant copies of the exact same knowledge. It gets saved in different files, in different formats, in a dozen different systems, all at the same time.
But here's the big question. What if that entire foundation is just wrong? What if all this copying isn't just a little inefficient, but is actually creating massive, invisible problems that are holding back everything from your company's software to the future of AI itself?
And the costs of doing things this way are huge. They just pile up. I mean, think about a simple corporate policy, right? You've got one version on the company wiki, another version in a Word doc for new hires, and maybe a third one was used to train a support chatbot 6 months ago. So when the policy changes, which one is the real source of truth? They always, and I mean always, drift out of sync. This creates total nightmares for compliance and security. And for AI, this is a core reason we get these opaque black box systems. We can't actually trace where the AI got its knowledge, because it came from a dozen slightly different copies.
So how do we possibly fix a problem this big? Well, it takes a totally radical shift in how we think. A brand new paradigm built on a beautifully simple and powerful idea, the store it once principle. Let's break down what that actually means.
This new paradigm is called Procedural Memory Knowledge Representation, or PMKR for short. Now, don't let the long name scare you, because the key idea is right there in that first word, procedural. This completely redefines what we mean by knowledge. Instead of storing a static fact, the what, we store the instructions, the procedure, for how to create that knowledge on demand. It's a massive shift from knowing what to knowing how.
And honestly, this quote is the perfect way to get it. It just clicks. Why would you store a million finished cakes? They take up a ton of space, and each one would be a little different. Instead, you could just store one single perfect recipe. That recipe becomes the ultimate source of truth, and you can use it to bake a perfect, identical cake whenever you want, wherever you want.
So let's just put these two approaches right next to each other. On the left, you've got the old way, endless static copies. It's messy, it's inefficient, and the data is guaranteed to drift out of sync. But on the right, you have the PMKR way. Knowledge is stored exactly once as a single master procedure. And then, every time you need to use that knowledge, you don't copy it. You just create a tiny, lightweight reference, like a shortcut on your computer desktop, that points back to that one original source. It's incredibly efficient, it's always consistent, and you can track everything.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like some cool futuristic theory. But here's the thing, it's not. This idea has already been made real, and it's called Knowledge3D, or K3D for short.
Knowledge3D is the living, breathing proof that the PMKR paradigm isn't just a theory, it works, and it's here today. It's the system that validates these concepts so well, in fact, that the whole PMKR framework is now being considered for a new web standard by the W3C, the organization that literally guides the future of the web.
So, how does K3D actually pull this off? Well, its architecture is built on 3 core pillars. 3 really powerful innovations that all work together to make this procedural knowledge a reality.
Pillar number 1 is that shortcut idea we just talked about, but on steroids. In K3D, nothing is ever actually copied. Think about a word on your screen. A normal system stores the pixels for each letter again and again. K3D doesn't do that. A word is just a list of tiny pointers, each one pointing back to the one single program that knows how to draw each letter. It builds complex things by layering these little references, not by copying and pasting huge chunks of data.
And the result of this? It's just staggering. By swapping out all that bulky, duplicated data for these tiny procedural shortcuts, K3D typically achieves a 70% reduction in storage size. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not a small improvement, it's a total game changer for the economics of data.
Okay, K3D's second pillar is called Sovereign GPU Native Execution. Now, that's a mouthful, I know, but what it means is that all the thinking, all the running of these knowledge programs happens directly on the GPU, the fastest part of your computer for this stuff. It uses custom-built super-efficient code with zero, and I mean zero dependencies on heavy frameworks like PyTorch or TensorFlow. Sovereign just means it's in complete control, it's transparent, and it's built for one thing and one thing only: insane speed.
And when I say speed, I mean it. The system can run one of these knowledge programs in under 100 microseconds. For perspective, it takes about 100,000 microseconds just to blink your eye. This is a level of performance that is just in a completely different ballpark, and it's all thanks to that lean, sovereign architecture.
And that brings us to the third and, maybe, the most revolutionary pillar of all, the dual-client reality. This is where the magic really happens. K3D makes sure that one single master recipe of knowledge can be served up to two totally different audiences, humans and AIs, at the exact same time. This is the key to finally solving the AI black box problem. A human user can look at their screen and see, say, a beautiful 3D chair inside a virtual knowledge house. At the very same instant, an AI isn't seeing the pixels of a chair, it's seeing and executing the exact same underlying program that created that chair. So the human gets this intuitive visual experience, and the AI gets a verifiable mathematical one. For the first time, we have a common ground, a shared reality for humans and AI to truly collaborate.
So, what does this all mean for the future? Well, with K3D proving that this model really works, the ambition is now so much bigger than just one system. We're talking about rebuilding how the entire internet handles knowledge from the ground up.
And the really cool part is, this isn't some secret private project. There's a PNKR community group at the W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium. It's a whole group of engineers and thinkers working together to turn these ideas into a new, open standard for the whole web, so that anyone can build on this new foundation.
The ultimate vision here is something called a spatial web, or what some people are even calling a knowledgeverse. Just imagine a future where information isn't stuck on the flat pages and documents we scroll through every day. Instead, knowledge itself becomes a shared 3D universe that both we and our AIs can literally explore together, interacting with ideas like they were physical objects in a room.
And I think this quote just captures that shift perfectly. We're moving away from just looking at information through a little window on our screen to actually being fully immersed inside of it. Software becomes a destination, a place you can truly inhabit. So I'll leave you with this final thought. By finally leaving behind this old, broken world of static copies and embracing this new idea of living procedural knowledge, are we on the edge of something incredible? A new kind of shared universe of knowledge that we don't just read, but that we actually live in. The technology says yes. The only question now is how quickly we're all going to get there. Thanks for joining me.